from all things at once without thinking twice. And I knew it would catch up and that we would be the ones left behind. The stories I've been told, they never seem to leave my mind. This road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time.
Well, hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I feel like it's been ages since I've chatted with you because so much has changed in the last 2 weeks. I have moved, as you can see, same couch, but different location. And there has been such a hubbub of activity and bustle and all kinds of things going on. So I'm very excited to share with you about my new living situation here in this house and show you all of the projects that are coming up to make this house more updated and homey. I'm very excited. So let me tell you a little bit of the backstory. So when this year started, I had no idea I was going to be moving this summer, but last year my parents had purchased a home that they were planning to renovate. And as they were discussing their plans for the house, the idea came up for me and my childhood best friend to live as roommates in this house together and rent it from them. So they ended up talking about it, and my dad kind of encouraged me to sign a 6-month lease at my apartment when I came up for renewal, and that ended at the end of July. So my friend Brenna just moved back to the US after being abroad for a few years, and so we have moved into this house, which is super exciting. And the fun part is that my parents are letting me come along for all the renovations and learn from them. They have always had renovation projects going as long as I have been alive, and they're really good at it. So I'm so excited to have kind of a front row seat to get to learn a lot of different things. And I've learned so much already. You can probably see there's things in process all around. And we've already done a lot of painting and different things upstairs. So I'm so excited to show you. But what we're working on today is probably the thing that you all following my channel will be the most excited about. And that is my sewing room, because I get to have a sewing room here and I'm so thrilled. And so grateful, because I think it's just going to be so nice to have a designated space for sewing. And so it's upstairs, it's one of the bedrooms with this kind of attic-y feel to it, which I think is so charming. And so that is going to become the sewing space. So there will be so much content coming over the next year on just the house and what we're doing with it. So I hope that you will enjoy it. Let me know what you'd be interested to see, because right now we are in the midst of Tuscan yellow down here, and it's a lot of 90s and 80s DIYs all over this house, so it's very interesting to see. But I'm excited to get to put a little bit of my own spin on things. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that is kind of the situation, and let me know if you have any questions about it, but I'm so thankful to be here. It's a beautiful place, and Coconut is loving the backyard. Oh, and I have a garden. I'm so excited to show you guys, because my mom and I actually planted it a few months ago before I moved in. And so I've already been getting to harvest peppers, and I have some tomatoes that are almost ripe. So I'm very excited to share that as well. So it's a whole new era, I feel like, for me. Coconut is learning to not be an apartment dog. She's loving the backyard. And so it's a whole new situation. And it's just so fun to get to be roommates with my best friend from childhood. Like, how amazing is that? Things that I never thought were going to be happening. So it's a very fun turn of events, and I'm excited to take you along for everything. I am going to stop yapping. Let me show you the sewing room. So my mom is on her way right now to help me get started with the painting, but let's run upstairs and I'll show you. Okay, so here we are up in what will become my sewing room, and you can see it has this kind of sloped vaulted ceiling in here. So I feel like it feels like a crafty attic, which just makes me very, very happy. And we have this yellow color on the walls right now, which is not really my style, if you know me. So I'm excited to get some paint on these walls. Currently there is carpet on the floor in here that will eventually be replaced, but not at this time, at the time I'm filming this video. But we are going to be painting, and the color that we're using is called Dover White by Sherwin-Williams. So my mom had been really inspired by this home that she visited for a bridal shower that had a beautiful color drenched room in the shade of Dover White by Sherwin-Williams. So she got the paint from that person who owned that beautiful home. Ooh, a thunderstorm is rolling in. And so we are doing that color in here, and I'm very excited because I think it is going to brighten the whole room up. It's a little bit dark in here, but I think it has so much potential to be the perfect crafty room. And I'm thinking about putting a big dining table up here as a cutting table, and then having a desk for the sewing machine, and probably having my computer stuff up here as well, kind of like a crafty studio, sewing room / office, all of those things up here together so that it's contained. And after being in the apartment, I'm just so excited because it's so much room to spread out, which is so nice. I also have a closet over here to store fabric. And so I think that's gonna be great. Let me show you one of my favorite parts of this room. You can see we've already started on a lot of things because there's all this stuff everywhere. So I love this magical little window in the corner here. I think it's so cool. And my parents' friend, who is a woodworker and carpenter, has added this trim to a lot of the house already. So this will all get painted as we work on the painting. But I think the first thing that we're going to do is lay down drop cloths, of course, and then we'll be priming the trim. The trim in this house is this darker wood, and we're going to be doing everything the same color. And so it will really help to unify the space a lot and just make it clean and bright and a little more modern. So I'm very excited to see how it goes today. So I'm gonna get changed into some paint clothes and get the drop cloths laid down before my mom gets here, and then we will get started. I can't wait to show you the progress over the next few days. I'll link this shirt on my Shop Mine. I know you're all looking for a paint stained t-shirt, right?
Is that dry?
Oh,
Not that dry, girl.
this is dry-ish, right?
Not enough to run your finger on like that coffee yet. Do you want to do
should I
an
wait?
outside of this?
Yeah.
These are like heavy duty.
All right, we're about to make a Home Depot run because we've run out of some supplies, but I wanted to show you a little bit more about the trim because this is kind of an interesting thing that my parents have done in their own house, and I think it works really well. So let me show you. Okay, it looks a little funny because we've added the primer, but what you can see here is there's the original molding on the top, which is just like a very basic molding. And then what they like to do is add a thin molding underneath, leaving some of the wall in between, and then come in and paint it all as if it's the trim. And it kind of creates like this faux crown molding that's very, very pretty. And you would never notice that it's not actually trim. So I think it's gonna look really good. And we've already done this in my bedroom, so I'll show you that a little bit later. But right now we've got to run to Home Depot and get some more supplies. So we'll be right back. Like, can you do this? I'd be like, nope.
You did not.
I did all the time.
No, you didn't. I don't believe that.
Because I was obviously gonna do it, but I like to at least say no.
Oh my gosh, I would have gotten in so much trouble if I said no. Bethany said no to Dad one time, and it was a huge.
Well, then I asked it, but then it's like, let me rephrase that.
Oh, I see.
Go to the kitchen and do this. But whenever she would ask, I'd be like, nope, not doing it. Sorry, Mom.
Sometimes you did phrase it as would you want to, but obviously we understood that that meant, hey, I need you to go do this.
All right, hi friends, it is a few days later now, and as you can probably tell, I have finished setting up this little corner with my sewing machine, which I'm so excited about because this means now I can get back into some sewing projects. I've been on a bit of a hiatus while I've been trying to get everything done. So I'm very excited, and I think it turned out looking pretty cute over here. So we finally finished the painting. My mom, my roommate, and my sisters were all helping with it. It was definitely a group effort, and it feels so much brighter up here now. This is kind of like a little attic-y feeling room, and it definitely felt so dark before. It's a very gloomy, dark day today, and it still feels quite bright up here. So I'm enjoying that a lot. It's just a very fresh feeling. And I'm excited for when we eventually change the floors because the nice clean paint makes the carpet look a little bit sad, but that's okay. And I've set up my little sewing corner. So what I've done here is put a desk, and I got this on Facebook Marketplace. I have been kind of addicted to Facebook Marketplace since I moved, and I keep finding so many good things. So I got this. It's a Pottery Barn desk. And what I love about it, which I think I showed you in another clip, but let me move so you can see, is that it has this massive drawer with all of these compartments in it. This is really large. I don't know if you can quite see. It's all the way back almost to the wall, but I thought this was perfect for storing thread, notions, all of that type of thing. Definitely a lot of storage space there. And then I liked the size of it because I have my machine here and I want to eventually get a serger. I don't have a serger. And I want to get one, and this has space for 2 sewing machines. So I thought that would be perfect. Another thing that I want to get is a desk chair, like a rolly office chair. I think that would work a lot better up here, but right now I just have one of my old dining chairs. And then I've added some fun artwork. I added just different things that I had from my apartment before. And then I also framed this vintage 17 magazine ad from the 1950s that I found on eBay. And it's for the McCall's Pattern Givenchy line. So I thought that was so perfect for the sewing area. When I found that, I have like a saved search on eBay for anything that's Givenchy McCall's. So that popped up and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna need that. So I think it looks so cute. And then I also added any of my sewing or fashion inspiration books here. So I have those to reference in my sketchbook and all of that type of thing. So I'm really pleased that this little corner is put together, but there's so much more space up here. So I want to show you kind of my ideas for the rest of the room. I've been spending a lot of time curating ideas on Pinterest. I want this room to be really like a full studio for my computer, for any work that I do from home, and then also for sewing and creating. So I'm very excited to work on the rest of it. This is probably where I'm gonna stop for now because I have a few more purchases I need to make and I'm not doing it all at once. But let me show you kind of my ideas for the rest of the room. So taking a step back here is what the little sewing corner looks like. I feel like you don't really get the scale of this desk, but I think it's actually quite large and really great for sewing because it's so spacious. This is originally from Pottery Barn. I got such a good deal on it on Facebook. Now it does have a lot of little dings on the surface, so I may eventually repaint it, but I am not really concerned about that too much because I am pretty rough on things when I'm working on projects. So I think it'll be a good usable surface. And then here is the little artwork tour. I've got my Sabrina poster, which is my favorite movie, and then the vintage 17 magazine ad. And then just some botanicals. This one up here is from Rifle Paper Company, and this one is old from Target. I'm wanting to do a lot of blue and white in other areas of the room, so I thought that one was perfect. And then I also have this photo of Jackie Kennedy that I cut out of a book. I love her trench coat and the bouquet of flowers. It's just kind of an aesthetic that I love. And then here are all of my fashion books. Some of them are vintage knitting pattern books as well. And then I have a little antique camera, some flowers that I got at the market this weekend because why not? And of course, the star of the show, my Kenmore sewing machine. She's just such a beauty. I have seen the new Singer Heavy Duty comes in a really pretty light pink, and I'm kind of tempted to add that to my collection, but I think I should get a serger first. So that's the little sewing nook, and I just love how it sits in this vaulted part of the ceiling. I think it is so lovely. And yes, every time I look at this carpet, I'm ready to rip it up and replace it, but we're rolling with it for now. Now, if you start to look around the room with me, which my camera doesn't get super good scale here, so I might put you on the tripod and put you in the corner, actually. I'm trying to back up. It's hard to get everything in the frame. Okay, let's see how this works. You can at least get kind of an idea of the space. So there's definitely a lot of room here. You can see you can't even see my desk here because the camera can't stretch quite that wide. But over here where I have my computer, I'm planning to put a computer desk. I just haven't found one that I like yet. So we're going to do kind of a whole second desk setup on this side of the room by the other window. And then in this space that I'm standing right now, I think I want to do a cutting table because I always find when I'm sewing that I want a space just to spread everything out. And I think it would be really convenient. So I've been looking at just wooden dining tables on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm trying to find a good one. I've also been looking at thrift stores. Haven't found anything just yet, but I think this is such a good open space here in the middle of the room. It would work out really well, almost like an island, something in the center where I can work on projects. Now over here, I will plan to have my ironing board because I do want it to have kind of a permanent setup in this room. That's one thing that's very convenient about having an entire studio room is everything can just stay in its place and doesn't have to go back in my closet every time I finish up sewing. That was something that was definitely a challenge in my apartment. So I'm excited about that. Then let me turn you around and show you the other side of the room. Okay, now you're in the corner where the ironing board will eventually go, but you can see behind me there's a lot of space over here too. So we have a closet right here and then a bathroom over here. And this corner, I think I'm going to make into kind of like a cozy reading nook sort of space because it's always good to have a place to work on hand sewing and also just a comfy place to chill. So that is going to go there. But I think that will work out well because my desktop computer will be opposite of that, so I can use that to watch movies or anything that I might want to have on in the background. So I think a little chair set up right there. Now I found one on World Market that I'm considering, so I'll pop in a little picture. It's kind of like a blue and cream stripe. And then I also think I'll put a plant over here and just make it cozy and cute. I may eventually put my TV here between the two doors because I do think it would be nice to have a TV in this space, but right now we are using that one downstairs. It's just a little bit smaller in this house than it was in my apartment. You know, it's a bit different scale here. So it would fit perfectly in this little space between the closet and the bathroom. So definitely a lot of space to work with in here. I feel like I could just spin around in circles. But lots of room to do a lot of crafting projects, so I'm so excited for the rest of the room, but also very pleased with my little sewing corner over here that we've made work. So it's nice as you get these small sections of rooms done. Okay, friends, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave you here for today. Thank you so much for spending your time with me and going through this little life update with me. I'm very excited to share more as I get this room more put together over the next couple of months, but very happy with the little sewing corner, which you'll be seeing a lot in future videos, of course. And thank you so much for watching and spending your time here on my channel today. If you are new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed, you can do that by clicking the button down below. And I would love to have you back for my future videos. You can also join and become a member of my channel, and that will allow you to access exclusive videos. And there are a lot on there already. So if you want to join and support me in that way, I would really appreciate it. Really appreciate all of you that are members already. You guys are amazing. And I can't wait to share some new sewing projects in this new space with you very soon. And I'll talk to you in a new video very soon. Bye.
If you found a way out, come seek me.